I've been using scope rods for the last 7 years. I actually can't remember the last time I used a conventional 12 or 13 footer. Now, not only are these available in 10, 9 and 6 foot, but it's the fact that they're retractable rods, meaning a smaller pack down size, which means your rod bag's smaller, lighter and more compact, easier for your roaming, and of course built off the back of Alan Blair's success with urban banks, constantly moving around nice and light. Scopes have been a revolutionary product in the carp fishing space. Now, there's various different models, there's various different handles, test curves and lengths. So in this video, I'm going to help you pick the scope that's right for you. I've got multiple rods on the floor with me. I'm going to have a little go casting around and see the sort of distances that you can fish with the 6 foot, the 9 foot and the 10 foot in both the cheaper range and the more expensive high quality carbon. Let's get started. We've also got Sam, the Goremeister General, with us, works at Ripper Tackle, and we've got 6 footers, 9 footers and 10 foot rods, and we're going to put them through the paces. We've got wrap sticks behind us, and we've got both standard scopes and scope ops. If you don't know the difference, a standard scope is replacing the old Nash Dwarf range. The scope ops is the higher quality carbon, and that's what we're going to put to the test today. What's the difference in both the casting ability and also, of course, the playing ability? There's no fish in this lake, so we won't be able to catch a carp for you, but we're certainly going to put it through the test with casting. Now, in Sam's hand is a beautiful top of the range 10 foot 3.5 pound dark cork. It comes with 50mm butt rings, and that is because it's a 10 foot 3.5 pound. So up to 3.5 pound is 40mm butts, and over 3.5 pound all the way to 4 pound test curve is the 50mm butts. Sam's going to whack that out. We've got a GT 8000 which balances perfectly with the 10 footers, and that's got 20 pound armour line on it. Sam,
Bosh.
Let's have a little go, mate. Whack
Come
it
on.
out for me on that far bank. The first cast was clipped up at 23 wraps to the far bank. What should be light work for this rod. Missed the clip?
Just missed the clip.
You just missed the clip, mate.
Can't believe it.
Got to do that
This
again.
ain't got good promo, is it?
Sam's had a go at chucking that one out, failed the test. Now, jokes aside, 23 wraps should be very comfortable with this 10 foot 3.5 pound scope ops. Now, I'm using this as if I would if I was fishing. 4.5 ounce lead, 20 pound mono straight through, no shock leader, no distance lead. I'm making this as real and authentic as I possibly can. So, let's see if it can manage this cast nice and comfortably. Lovely. So as you saw there, 23 wraps, didn't put any power into that at all, and it's hit that comfortably. And that is the thing with the scope ops. It's higher quality carbon, and it means a quicker recovery. When you compress that rod, it recovers to the neutral standpoint a lot quicker than cheaper carbon rods out on the market. So that's why that is the creme de la creme. And look at that handle. Oh, look at that, Sammy boy. Now, let's put it to 30 wraps and really put these rods to the test. A lot of people say to me, oh, I use my 12, 13 footers when I'm fishing a certain distance. These can fish over 100 yards, but it's all good talking. Let's prove it in action. Before moving on to 30 wraps, Sam redeemed himself, comfortably hitting the 23 mark. Now it was time for the distance cast. 28, 29, 30.
Don't be silly.
There you go. I was surprised how easily I managed to get 30 wraps, so decided to really go for it. Wetting up the line, 35 wraps. Here we go. I fell slightly short on the first attempt, so decided to give it another go. Oh, bit it.
Oh my god. 35 wraps.
No rig on, but 35 wraps. Just hit the clip. Like I say again, 20 pound mono, 4.5 ounce flat pear lead. So that proves if you know how to compress the carbon properly, you can get over 35 wraps. And I don't cast far very often, so I'm sure someone who's elite at casting will be able to put these over 40 wraps. That's the distance casting done on the 10-foot 3.5 dark cork. Now for underarm casting. Now I personally use the 10-foot 3.5s, and I think they're the perfect balance rod for both distance and close quarter fishing. Now I'm going to show you how you can underarm cast at range with accuracy with one of these rods as well. Then we'll have a little go Sam, seeing if he can hit the same clip. I started by casting as far as I could, then clipped it up to see the results. 10.5 wraps. I didn't go as hard as possible, but I did put a fair bit into it. 10.5 wraps underarm. Your turn, Sam. If Sam hits this 10.5 wraps underarm, I'll be very shocked. I've been practicing.
Double wage working tomorrow.
Double wage, yeah, you'll get double wage at Ripper Tackle tomorrow. I've been practicing this cast for many, many years. If Sam hits it, fair play to you. 10.5 wraps underarm. Well. Go on, lad. Show me what you're made of.
Never.
Should we test out some of these other rods then?
Yeah, come on, why not?
Next up, we've got a standard scope. So like I said, you've got standard scope in 6, 9 and 10 and scope ops in 6, 9 and 10. The next one we've picked up is a 9-foot 4 pound. Now a 4 pound seems a little bit too heavy. However, if you like to fish distance or you want a stiffer rod for snag fishing, but you like fishing 9-foot rods because the pack down size is even smaller, then I can see why you'd opt for a 9-foot 4 pound. Let's see if the 9-foot 4 pound in the standard scope carbon can reach the far bank at 23 wraps. Come on, Sam.
Come on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So there we go.
Hit it.
So that's a 9-foot 4 pound, and Sam's hit the clip at 23 wraps comfortably. So all you 9-foot users, you can see there you're still able to fish a comfortable distance even with a 9-foot rod. Shall we give it a go at 30 wraps?
Of course, bro. Come on.
Shall we?
30 wraps. Come on. Easy. Light work.
Although it took a few attempts, I did manage to hit 30 wraps. Yes.
Ooh!
Next up was the underarm. Ooh, I have to say,
That was easy.
the 9-foot rod, especially in the 4 pound, was actually better for underarm casting. Because it's a shorter rod, you can get more compression underneath your elbow, and bang, and I could get a nicer flick, and I hit that quite comfortably.
Look easy.
Let's take it to 12 wraps.
Come on.
Ooh, 12 wraps. I have to say, these ones are probably my favourites. They're the tier below the dark corks in terms of price point, and this is the green olive Duplon handle on the Scope Ops rod. I wanted to get these when they first launched, but they were out of stock, so I went with the standard abbreviated. These ones are a 9-foot 3.25. So we've used the 10-foot 3.5s, we've used the 9-foot 4 pound. Let's see if the 9-foot Scope Ops 3.25 can do the wraps as well. The 9-foot 3.25 comfortably reached 23 wraps, but unfortunately just fell short on the 30. Last but not least, we have got the ultimate stalking machine, the 6-foot scope. This one is the black Duplon standard scope, replacing the dwarf, and that is a 6-foot 3 pound. And this one is the Scope Ops high quality carbon. This is a beautiful little piece of kit, perfect for the half a wrap jobbies. Now, this one's 3.5 pounds. Let's see what the difference is between a Scope Ops 3.5 compared to a Duplon, the slightly cheaper model, in 3 pound. Is this going to be able to cast 23 wraps? What do you reckon, Sam?
Who knows? We'll have a look.
$18 wraps. I'm very impressed with that. For a 6-foot rod, that's a very impressive distance. Obviously, with tubing or a leader and your rig on there, that's going to take a little bit of yards off that. So you're probably looking at being able to fish comfortably 16 wraps with a 6-foot rod. Pretty good going. Let's see how far we can underarm cast with the 6-footer. 7, 8, 9, nearly 9 wraps. That's as far as I could underarm cast. So 9 wraps with the 6-footer, 10.5 wraps with the 10-footer, and 13 wraps with the 9-foot 4-pound. Last but not least, this is the cheapest one in the range at $59.99, and this is the standard scope in 6-foot 3-pound with the black Duplon handle. Let's see if it performs as well as a Scope Op 6-footer. The standard 6-foot scope couldn't quite hit the 18 wraps. I'd say probably 16, 15.5. Let's see if it can hit 9 wraps on the underarm. As you can see on there, I've got a GT 4000, which is lovely and light to balance that rod out, as opposed to the 8000 that I use on the 9s and the 10s. Let's give it a go. And there we go, that is the range of the scope rods. Of course, I've not covered every single rod in every single test curve because I would have been here all day. But in my opinion, whether it's the dark cork, the Duplon, the abbreviated, or the green olive Duplon handle, each rod serves its purpose. If you like fishing long distance, but you still want a compact retractable rod, then of course your 10-foot Scope Ops between 3.5 and 4 pound will do the job. They've still got really good play in action, perfect for snag fishing and playing those larger carp. If you want to use a 9-footer, nice one mate. If you want to use a 9-footer, something a little bit smaller, even more lightweight, but you still want to cast far, as you've seen, the 9-foot 4 pound could hit 30 wraps, pretty impressive. However, you could get away with a 3.5 as well. If you're someone who fishes closer range, you want a little bit more play out of the rod, maybe fishing for smaller carp, then I'd go for either the 9 or the 10-foot in 3 pound or 3.25. Finally, the 6-foot rods, of course, 6-foot rods sawn off, out of the edge jobby, off the top of the rod tips, really lightweight. Whether you go for the 3 pound or the 3.5 is purely up to you. They both do a similar job. I hope this video has been insightful. I hope you know more about the scope range now, and I hope I've given you a better idea of which one you use in your own fishing.